Hey Saab people, in this video we're going to be doing a strut bar install on my 2008 Saab 9.3 cross-wheel drive. The bolts that come with the car are not safe to use with the strut bar. They are not long enough to support both the strut and the strut bar. Now, the correct bolt to use is either an M8 by 1.25 by 25 or 30. Now, I will put that in the description real quick so you don't forget it, and I will also link the strut bar in the description. Now that that's all cleared up, let's go ahead and get started with the video. All right, now let's go ahead and try the new bolt. I'm really nervous. All right, we got it. All right, so to get started, let's go ahead and pop the hood. As you can see, the last video that I posted, I still got the silver caps on. Okay, so quick story about these struts, actually. This strut tower right here was originally rotted all the way through on the original strut. So I found a parts car for really cheap in Pennsylvania. So we took a big road trip right before COVID hit, and we got the car, and then we cut out the entire strut tower, each individual spot weld. Super long process, took almost a week. Put this back in, welded it all around, and then I sprayed the insides of all of the wheel wells and struts with a undercoating. A 1/2-inch socket works perfectly for the original bolts that are on here. Let's go ahead and get these off. When you have your bolts off, go ahead and line all the holes up, just like so, with this facing out. I've got my bolts right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in. First one. All right, so I've got all of them on there. I'm gonna repeat the same process on this side. Go ahead and take off your regular stock bolts, and then take the ring that goes around the top, set it on, line it up, and then take my new bolts, put them in. All right, I've got both sides lined up officially. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this with the 12mm socket and tighten them up. Get it as close to tight as you can, but you don't want it to restrict the top ring from moving around, because you're gonna wanna grab your bar right before you tighten it all the way down to make sure it fits where it's supposed to. Because if this needs to wiggle a little bit, then you're gonna be screwed. You're gonna have to untighten all of these and just make more work for yourself in the end. Looks like I have one bolt that's different than all the others. Back to the store. Sure, basically what happened was I grabbed 6 bolts. They looked all the same when I grabbed them, but it turns out they weren't, and they were the only 6 left. So really there were only 5 of the bolts that I needed. So I went back to see if they had an extra box of the one bolt that was missing, and they didn't have any extra. So I went to another store to find one more bolt, and they had a completely different selection, even though it was a store that was the exact same company. So to make an extremely long story short, I got my money back, and I was able to get some stainless M8 by 1.25 and by 30, I'm pretty sure is what it is. So M8 by 30 is what I put on here, and the originals that come with the car are M8 by 20. All right, so grab your strut bar, make sure it's gonna fit where it properly needs to. So that has to go in between there, like so. Not really sure what's going on here with these hoses, but oh, the housing for this isn't down as far as it's supposed to be. So I guess it's perfectly fine. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. All right, so yeah, I checked back on the pictures on the website. They had DO88 hoses on their thing as well, so they do go together. By the photos, they look compatible. So I assume that this is just gonna rest really close or almost on this hose as is, and that's, you know, it's just the way it's gotta be. And remember earlier when I said you're gonna wanna have these nuts somewhat loose, and that is because of this reason. I will show you. See how it doesn't quite line up? That's because you're gonna wanna loosen up those 3 over there and have these 3 loosened so that you can connect the bar first and then tighten these all the way down when it's all set and you have it where it's supposed to be. All right, so now that you have these somewhat loose, you have a little bit of play. Here, I'll show you. And you're gonna have the same amount of play on the other side, so you're gonna be able to have the bar together like it's supposed to be. Now, on the website and the pictures where it's all put together, they actually have the nut on the back side facing towards the windshield, so it's gonna go on like this. And that is on the back. So I'm gonna take that one back out and do the same, and hopefully it'll all line up properly. 1 washer on each side, nut on the back side. Same thing over here. And now what you're gonna wanna do is tighten up the bottom area and then tighten this up. All right, to tighten this up, you're gonna need a 19mm wrench and a 19mm socket. Basically what you're gonna wanna do is have your 19mm wrench on the side that you want stationary, and then have your socket on the other side so that your nut can spin and then this won't, because this is gonna scrape up your paint if you have the washer constantly rubbing up. It's going to go through the paint here and it can cause rust. I mean, I know obviously rust doesn't seem like a big issue to me, but it definitely is. And I'm going to be getting hopefully performance struts soon, so I won't have to look at this anymore. All right, so you're able to see this nut here. That's what you want to put your socket on, like so. And then you're going to have over here your wrench on the other side. Go ahead and turn. Well, that is the weirdest noise I've ever heard come from chicken, but okay. All right, since it's getting tighter, I'm gonna let off with the wrench turning. I'm gonna try and keep it over here. Down like this, and keep pressure on it while I turn with the ratchet. All right, and there we have it, guys. That is how you install an AZ Performance strut bar on your Turbo X or cross-wheel drive, since this is compatible for both. So I think that looks great. Silver with the silver. Silver. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. And then I think later in the next couple of months, I'm gonna have my entire DO88 kit coming in. I have charge pipes, intercooler, radiator, and I'll be putting the rest of the hoses in since I'm gonna have to take apart the whole engine bay anyway. So yeah, that's the plan. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. You can be part of that 25% of people that actually watch these videos that are subscribed to me. That would be a huge help, as I'm trying to get to at least 1,000 so that I can start putting actual money into this car. So thank you for supporting the channel.